Welcome back to Elizabeth Plants. I'm Elizabeth, and today we're going to do something a little bit different, kind of different. So I recently reorganized a little bit of my apartment and it affected my plants, mainly my Philodendron saloon rename on the screen because I can't remember it. If you recall, and I'll see if I can find a photo or something, I had it in the living room. However, my cats many a time have dug in it, and the one time I think they leaned up on that moss pole, they knocked it clean out of the pot. So I'm in the process of reorganizing as a result of that, and also as a result of moving my Beardy. In that move, I am transferring that Salome to Lecca. And I've already started, I've done a lot of it, so I'll just walk you through what I've done. And then I'm going to, with you, finish the process and also do a little bit of office organization because it's kind of a wreck right now. So a little bit of a hodgepodge video, a little bit of a Lecca video, but let's just get into it. All right, so this is the situation we are dealing with. We had one leaf casualty so far. It wasn't one of the gigantic leaves. It was probably about this size, which I guess it's large, but compared to the other ones, it's not. I've got a new pot that it is partially in Lecca, and this is the old pot with a cat litter pan above it. So let me just tell you where we've been. The plant was obviously in this one. This was kind of just a cheap Amazon pot. It was the largest one I could find without spending hundreds of dollars on a nice pot. At the time, I hated its ugly. We had to drill holes in the bottom and we don't have a drill. So pretty much it's real janky. It's ugly. I thought about painting it, but I don't know that I want to waste paint on it. And quite frankly, it's too big. But it's what I could find at the time. So with the opportunity to fix up my plant, I thought I'd get a new one. So I looked into getting large nursery pots, which is how I ended up with this pot. It looks the same size, you may be asking yourself. What is that about? So I went through this website where I got it and I read all of the dimensions of every single pot, and I'm not very good with gallons, so I was looking at the dimensions and I decided I needed one that was like 16-ish inches in diameter across the top. And then I didn't want it to be too tall. Like I didn't want a super tall one. It could just be like normal height or whatever, but that wasn't as important as like 16 inches in diameter approximately. That's like a little bit over a foot. Sounds good to me. And then I just so happened that I believe this one was like 17 inches tall that I was looking at or something like that. And it was a 20 gallon. So I ordered the 20 gallon and I got a 20-inch diameter tray to go with it because I wanted the tray to be much larger. I wanted space. And they sent me this pot, which is like 20 inches in diameter or something like that. Which, yeah, it's only a 4-inch difference, but look at this root system. Like, it's huge, don't get me wrong. That root system is like a foot in diameter itself, maybe more, after I took most of the dirt out of it. But it's not 20 inches. Like, that's an upgrade, if anything, because there's no tapering in the pot. Like, this one is small at the bottom. This one is not. But this is what I have for now. So this is what I am working with for now. I'm just not going to pot it all the way up to the top. I'm going to pot it closer to the bottom. So what I have done so far is you see this, interesting. You see this root ball. I pulled it out of the dirt. There was probably 2 feet in these kind of roots below the like tray that was in the old pot. That was just like sitting in air or water, depending on if I had recently watered. So that's not good. I mean, it's not bad. It's not good. It means it grew. I rinsed out all the roots. Well, I tried to get most of the soil out. Obviously, like, look, there's soil. It's not a perfect system. I don't have access to the outdoors, so I had to do this in my tub, and I did it. I'll show you my system in a second. It's flawed, and it's not the best. So we're just going to have to work with it. I think that slowly over time, I'll be able to rinse it all out. amongst the leca, but I don't have access to outdoors and I don't want to clog my plumbing. So this will have to be good enough, and I think he'll be okay. He's really resilient. Honestly, he's been sitting like this for probably over a week, and he's doing just fine. Matter of fact, popping out a new leaf. So that's the situation. We've got to finish the leca. There's maybe 2 inches of leca down at that bottom that the roots are sitting on top of, and the tray has water in it. And we're just going to finish filling it with leca. The rest of the leca arrived today. I'm hoping it's enough. If not, I'll order more and I'll add it to the top. I'm not sure what I'm doing with this pot yet. I don't really have a plant big enough for it. So I don't know. I haven't decided. Maybe I'll turn it into a table or something short term. But I've got these old litter pans in it to stop my cats from digging in the dirt. Maybe it'll just become my dirt storage. I don't know. So yeah, let's move to the bathroom where I have the leca that I need to rinse out, and I will show you kind of how I rinsed out the roots in this guy. So welcome to my bathroom. So this is how I rinsed out the roots. I sat the dirt root ball in these like litter sifting trays that my cats don't use anymore, for like pellet litter and stuff like that. I just hoped that that caught most of the chunks, the dirt, stuff like that. I took this thing off, stuck that over top, and then I have another one of these in the kitchen that I just grabbed, and I was scooping out chunks of water, like chunks from the water, and just throwing it away. So not a perfect system. I definitely cleaned out the drain system when I was done. It needed it. But today we're going to be using these same trays to clean out my leca. I've got my leca on the floor within reach, and I'm going to kind of situate this guy because he's just kind of leaning in there. So he was he leans a lot. I leaned him into the wall just so that I had space in the room. I would like him to grow out to be more full, but I do think that leaning him up against the wall may be the best way to do that right now. I can always turn him around if it's not. But for now, he's already halfway there, so I am going to adjust and then dump leca. I'm going to use this pot to scoop at first before I just dump, because this guy's really heavy actually. I'd like to try and show you what I've got going on so far. So that's one bag of leca. Pretty nice. Alright, so this is 2 bags of leca. I'm not sure, you're not really going to be able to tell. It was not enough, However, a good majority of the root system is over here, and technically these two roots right here were first aerial roots before I shoved them down into soil for growing too long. So I am okay with these being up out of the leca quite a bit. This part is actually kind of like woody anyways, same with right here. Then as you can see, we've got a growth point here. What was a growth point at one point down here, and then also a couple of grow points right here. And I believe there is also, if we can, yeah, one right there. So I did my best to kind of pull the leca up from the sides onto the root system, which is primarily right here. That way the roots are covered, and then when I am able to get more leca, I can, but I do not have to financially rush that. Oh look, looks like there might be a growth system right here as well, or growth point. So that's really cool that there's a lot of growth points on this side, because if I pull back, it's heavily leaning over there onto my printer. There's that. I also believe I may have partially cracked this one right here, but I'm like zero worried about it, because if you look up here, that happened like a year ago probably with my cats. Like this one I ended up snapping off, but it did have the same thing up in here. I snapped it off simply because it was dying, not because it was broken. But that's my plant. It's not cute right now, but that's okay. We're adjusting, and we don't have to be cute when we're adjusting. You don't see me doing my hair on moving day, do you? So we're done with the Salome. I'm going to just do some clean uppy bits, and I thought I would just poke those in here so that you can clean up your plant area with me. So now I'm going to just clean up the room a bit, and you can do that with me. That is my kind of chore, repotting, leca cleanup video. I hope you enjoyed. Please give this video a thumb up. If you enjoyed any part of this video, even if you know the second half wasn't your thing or the first half wasn't your thing, like if you liked part of this video. I recognize it's a little chaotic. Subscribe if you want to see more houseplant content. I've got a lot of ideas, just haven't had time to sit down and plan and film them, so we've got some good stuff coming up soon, as I will have more time soon, and see you next time.